Hey guy, this is Tariq. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well today. Been getting a lot of emails from people on free traffic sources and what I recommend and what my views are. So I thought I'd put together a couple of videos. The first one being on blog commenting on free traffic sources. Now, me personally, in my business, I tend to use paid advertising, the likes of Facebook ads, for example. The main reason being that if I have an offer or a squeeze page or whatever it might be, I want to see if it works, and I want to see in a couple of days rather than a couple of weeks or months. So I'd rather pay for paid advertising and get eyeballs on that offer or squeeze page and get feedback so I can make adjustments and tweaks just to see if it works or not. But having said that, there are plenty of free traffic sources out there. One of them being blog commenting. So let's get straight into it. So why the need for free traffic alternatives? Well, let's face it, when you're starting out online, you're learning the ropes and you're all new to it, you might not have money to spend on paid advertising. And same with me, when I started out, I didn't have any money. And even if you do have money, if you're learning the processes and learning about online marketing, if you're not careful and you're setting up Google AdWords campaigns and stuff, if you're not careful, don't know what you're doing, you can lose a lot of money. So even if you have money, without knowing what you're doing, it can be, a bit of a risk. So, as I said before, there are plenty of good traffic sources out there, tactics you can use. It's really what you want to do in terms of how much time you have versus money. So if you find you have a lot of time, on the weekends or in the evenings, whatever, or even you're not working, etc., then doing and investigating free traffic sources is always a good option. You'll also find that if something works for you, for example, if blog commenting works, there's no reason why you can't then roll that out to many other blogs that in your niche. So it is definitely scalable. And the thing to bear in mind with this is don't expect to get a rush of traffic after 2 days or a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This is something which will start off as a trickle, but over time, if you're persistent and you have a scheduled plan, then the traffic will turn into a flood that really you can't stop. So it's one of those things where it does work, but it just takes time. Also, history has shown that in terms of paid advertising like Google AdWords or even article marketing, Google being the main player and the main search engine, it can easily, and it has done, change the rules, change the playing field, which can have dramatic impact on your business. So article marketing, for example, was big a few years ago. Then Google changed the algorithms with the Penguin and Panda updates, and suddenly article marketing, or articles rather, that were published on the big sites like Easy Articles weren't getting the same sort of search engine exposure. So it's always good to maybe have more than one or two traffic sources that you rely on in your business. So it's good to diversify. And the good thing about blogging, for example, you can do it in the background, and even when you get to know more about the whole process, you can even outsource it, but that's a whole different discussion. So blog commenting, how does it work? Well, you know what a blog is, yeah? So when a blog owner posts an article on the blog, they're doing it for many reasons. One is for themselves, but also, the big reason is to reach out to the readership and provide valuable content and solutions to people's problems, and every blog owner wants to get feedback or wants to get people commenting on those articles. So they know that, this is useful. They can get feedback in terms of what they might want to write about next, and get an understanding of what's happening with the readership. So, people want comments on their articles. So people come, they might already have the blog bookmarked, or they might just find it in a search engine. They come, they read the post, and they leave comments. Now this is where you have a great opportunity, but you might be asking, well, why? Okay, so let's run through the benefits of blog commenting and why it's a very powerful free traffic source. The whole purpose of blog commenting is to appeal to the readers of that blog to leave valuable content, and then hopefully through your profile or your signature, you provide a link and they come back to your blog and they like what you have to offer and they subscribe to your list, for example. So as you leave comments on these blogs, valuable comments, you will soon get a status of being an expert in that niche, in that area, and you will develop yourself as an authority figure. And the blog readers will appreciate that and will actually enjoy reading your comments and will have no problem going to your site and checking out what you have to offer there. Furthermore, if I'm reading a blog and I like a comment that someone's made and I click on the link, I'm a targeted visitor. So when I go to this other person's blog or website, I put my hand up and I've shown that I am a targeted visitor. So it's a great way of getting an excellent targeted traffic. Also, a lot of blogs, if not most blogs now, have social media functions. Either you can go and retweet the comments, or you can bookmark the comments. So you'll find that if you've added some really valuable content, the likelihood is that people will read that, and they want to share it. So in a matter of time, it could be weeks, could be months, your content will get spread out over the internet without you having to do anything. People like it, and bang, it's retweeted or it's bookmarked and it's spread. Also, when you leave your comment, you have the option to, and you definitely have to do this. You have the option to leave a link back to your own site or your own blog. So by doing that, you're actually getting a backlink from the blog that you're leaving comments on, and search engines, especially Google, they love this. Also, as you engage with the readership of this blog and leave comments, you start to get an idea of what's happening in that niche. You start to understand what the readers are looking for, what their problems are, what solutions they're after, and by doing that, you start to develop your own content. Your brain starts to work, and and eventually it could be that you create a product that's driven by these readers leaving comments and leaving questions, and as you create the product, you already have targeted blogs that you can go and approach and say, look, I've created this product, it meets the needs of your readers, let's do something about it. So it's a great way to get inside intel in terms of what's happening in your niche. Okay, what to do? Now the first thing clearly is you have to find these blogs. I recommend 10 or 20 blogs that, well, it depends on how much time you have in your hands, and these blogs need to be high traffic, high ranking blogs in your niche. So if your niche is, for example, home aquariums, you can do a search in Google for home aquariums blog, and this will give you pages and pages of search results, and you need to go through and find blogs that you think are suitable. Or to save time, you can go to blog directories like technorati.com. Now this has thousands upon thousands of blogs across pretty much every niche under the sun. So you can go there, find your niche, and find blogs that you think are suitable. Once you've done that, you need to check for traffic. You need to ensure that it has a very active and a large user base or members. Just see if you can get a grasp of just how popular this blog is, and also you need to check the posts to see how many comments have been left on these posts. The more the better. Clearly it means that the readership is active, and that's very, very important for you. So what's next? So before commenting, Now it's important that you understand that this is a long-term tactic, and if you can, approach it from the outset with a proper plan, then clearly it will yield you benefits over the long term. So before commenting, you need to get the RSS feed of this blog. You can use an RSS reader or a tool like Comment Sniper. Now all blogs have an RSS feed as far as I'm aware, and this is important because once you have this RSS feed, you can be notified of blog posts as soon as they're made. Now maybe you're thinking, well, why is that important? It is definitely very important. Just hold that thought and I'll come back to it in a few minutes. Once you find the blogs and you like them and they've got the members and they've got the traffic and the comments, just read through the posts and the comments just to get a feel for the community and what they're about and what they like and in the language they use, etc. Yeah, that will be important. So when you post your comments, it will be in the same sort of style, so it'll be seamless in essence. Now this is very, very important and something which people generally don't do. You need to track your blog comments. Now, if you have 10 blogs and you're posting, every few days and you're getting traffic to your website or your blog and you haven't tracked where the traffic's coming from, then you don't know what's working and what isn't working. You don't know if they're coming from these blogs or somewhere else. You don't know if one of these blogs is responsible for all the traffic or whatever. So you need to use some sort of tracking software like Google Analytics, and that's free. If you have some money, then by all means invest in a paid software, but there are plenty of free ones out there. Okay, let's go. Commenting. Right, so when you have a post, and you're about to leave a comment, think about what you're writing. Don't put, don't let your comment be something like "great post" or "that was so useful," "awesome." Those are lame. Let's remember that you're building a business here, a business that's built on value and content, on integrity and credibility. Because you're in it for the long term. Yeah, so think about what you're saying, what you want to write, and you do that, then the readers will appreciate that all the more. As I said before, avoid these spammy comments like "great post." It's just lame. It doesn't do anyone any justice. Keep comments, again, very obvious, but keep comments on that topic. I remember years ago when I was doing blog commenting that people would leave comments completely unrelated to the blog just because that blog had high traffic or high page rank, so they leave comments and then leave their link so people will come back to the website. But if the blog's on home aquariums, then leave a comment on home aquariums. Yeah, obvious, right? But you'd be surprised at the number of people who just don't do that. If you can add your own personal experience to the post or what you've just read, all the better. Because people want to know your side of the story, so they want to know what you have to offer. So if, for example, you found that your home aquarium, the fish kept dying or something like that, and there's a post on the actual blog about that, you can put your perspective in there and say, what, I did this, I got a new filter, or maybe I moved the location of the aquarium, so whatever it might be. But if you can put your own story in there, then people love that. And let's face it, stories are really important. They're part of our culture, they're part of our upbringing. So the more personal experience you can add to your comment, the better. Also, engage the blog author, engage the other commenters, and ask them questions, ask them for clarification, ask them for their feedback, for their views. The more you do that, people feel like, wow, this person's read the post, has read my comment, and has taken the time to say something or to ask a question. And that, it's important because people feel valued and respected if you do that, and it will create a lot of credibility, and the readership and the blog owner, will love it and will love you as well. Now, this is really important. This is why I mentioned before about getting the RSS feed. It's important to comment early and to fresh posts. Now, clearly, if you find a post that's 3-4 months old and you put a comment on there, the likelihood is, it's not going to get much exposure, many eyeballs, so there isn't really much point. The key thing is to, post on fresh blogs, blog posts, and the RSS feed allows you to do that because you're notified straight away when a blog post is made. Now, the important thing about this is, as soon as you get the notification of a blog post, you go in there and make a comment. Your comment, if it's really early, straight after the blog post, it will be the top 1 or 2 or 3 made. So when other people come and read that post and read the comments, everyone will read your comment. So it's going to get a lot of exposure and a lot of eyeballs, and it can only be good for you, yeah. Here you go. So people tend to read just the first few comments or on a post. Same with when you do a search result. Most people just read or look at the first 3 to 5 search results on the first page. That's it. So make sure you get in there early and post straight after, post your comment straight after the post has been published. And also, as I said before, if you can reply to other commenters as well directly, they'll love that. So it's not one way. You leave a comment and that's it. But if you can engage other commenters, all the better, because that creates a chain, and it can only help you. Here you go. It creates a blog comments chain. And now the important thing is, you might have left a great, fantastic comment, engaging the readership, but you need to have a call to action. You need to have in there your name and a link back to your site or blog, and also a compelling reason for them to come back and check your link and your website. So it could be something like the 10 most important things to consider before buying an aquarium. Wow, they see that in a signature line, they click on it, they come to your website, and there you go. So in summary, this is a long-term strategy. It is very, very powerful, but it does take time. So if you have that time, then great. And this small trickle of traffic that you'll get initially will, over time, if you're consistent and persistent with this tactic, lead to a torrent of traffic. And more importantly, you will build up a relationship with the blog owner, with the readership, and that's what's key, because life is about relationships. So if you go in there, and really honestly put the best you can in there, put the comments in there, engage the readership, you will build a relationship, and you'll be seen as an expert, and they will check out your blog or your website, and you'll get traffic. So I hope you found this useful. I'm doing some other videos as well. Next one is on forum commenting, so please check that out. If you have any questions, just drop me an email, any suggestions. It'll be great to hear from you. So that's it. Have a good day. Ciao.